A negative effect of the Industrial Revolution was on the environment. Industries were dumping carbon dioxide and large amounts of waste into the ground and waterways. During the Industrial Revolution, which took place between roughly 1760 and sometime between 1820 and 1840, new manufacturing techniques were adopted. The Industrial Revolution was a period of expansion that transformed primarily rural agricultural cultures into sophisticated urban ones. It occurred in Europe and America in the latter half of the 18th century. Industries like textile, iron, and others were able to mass-produce goods that had previously been painstakingly made by hand due to the development of new manufacturing tools and procedures. A change to a new industrial technique known as the Industrial Revolution took place in the United Kingdom, mainland Europe, and the United States between 1829 and 1840. Changing from manual to machine-based production, developing new methods for producing chemicals and iron, and increasing the use of steam and water power, opened the way for the development of machine tools and the mechanized industrial system. Textiles were the primary industry during the Industrial Revolution. This caused a rise in population, and the Industrial Revolution, which started in the UK, resulted in numerous advancements in technology and architecture. Britain had become the leading trading power by the middle of the 18th century, presiding over a vast trading empire that included colonies in North America and the Caribbean. The Industrial Revolution is thought to have been a major turning point in human history. Because it significantly affected almost all aspects of daily life, it was second only to humanity's adoption of agriculture in terms of material progress. The production of cotton, wool, and linen has a long history in the UK. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, the textile industry in Britain was truly a cottage industry, with lone spinners, weavers, and dyers working in tiny workshops, or even their own homes. Beginning in the middle of the 18th century, innovations like the power loom, flying shuttle, spinning jenny, and water frame sped up the process of weaving cloth and spinning yarn. Cloth production became more efficient, requiring less time and significantly less labor from humans. Thanks to increased manufacturing automation, Britain's new textile mills were able to meet the expanding demand for fabric both domestically and internationally. The nation's numerous colonies abroad provided a captive market for her goods. The British iron industry adopted new technologies alongside the textile industry. Due to the Napoleonic Wars, materials were more easily accessible and of higher quality, and one of the innovative processes used coke, a byproduct of coal combustion, to smelt iron, or instead of conventional charcoal. Only a few of the innovations that were developed in the second half of the 18th century can be directly attributed to the start of the Industrial Revolution. In the 1830s, there were a number of significant discoveries. During the textile era, mechanical cotton spinning powered by steam or water could increase a worker's output by more than 40. The productivity of removing cotton seeds with the cotton gin was multiplied by 50. Although not as much as cotton, spinning and weaving of wool and linen saw significant productivity increases. With rising efficiency, steam engines used between a fifth and a tenth of the fuel. For industrial applications, stationary steam engines that could rotate were ideal. It was ideal for the transportation capabilities of the high-pressure engine because of its high power-to-weight ratio. Steam power significantly increased after 1800. The cost of fuel to produce pig iron and wrought iron was significantly reduced by switching from charcoal to coke. Coke use also made it possible to construct more substantial blast furnaces due to scale advantages. To get around the limitations of water power in the middle of the 18th century, blast air was powered by a steam engine. As a result, iron production significantly rose. Cylinder boring machines, milling machines, and screw-cutting lathes were some of the first tools created in the history of machine tools. Even though it took years to create effective processes, machine tools allowed for the affordable production of precise metal components. Thomas Newcomen, who created the first working model of a contemporary steam engine in the early 1700s, became known as the father of the Industrial Revolution. The atmospheric steam engine, invented by Newcomen, was used to power the machinery, including the water pump equipment. In the 1760s, Scottish engineer James Watt experimented with one of Newcomen's designs and greatly enhanced it by including a separate water condenser. The British waterworks, canals, distilleries, flour, paper, and cotton mill industries were later all able to use steam power thanks to Matthew Boulton. The invention of the rotary motion steam engine allowed for this. Mining companies were able to drill deeper and extract more of this relatively cheap energy source thanks to steam power, which works similarly to engines. Due to the need to run the factories that produced manufactured goods, as well as the railroads and steamships that transported them, more coal was consumed during the Industrial Revolution. In Britain, the road system had been crucial prior to industrial development, and by 1815, the nation had used more than 2,000 miles of canals nationwide. Richard Trevithick displayed a steam-powered locomotive in the early 1800s. In 1830, similar locomotives started transporting people and goods between Manchester and Liverpool, two important industrial hubs. At that time, a large number of steam-powered boats and ships were used to transport commodities through Britain's rivers, canals, and the Atlantic Ocean. During the latter stages of the Industrial Revolution, a time of significant advancements in communication technology, people began to realize the increasing importance of efficient long-distance communication. By this time, William Cooke and Charles Wheatstone of Great Britain had already registered the first commercial telegraph system in 1837, but Samuel Morse and other Americans were simultaneously developing their own telegraph systems. During this period, banks, industrial financiers, and a management-based manufacturing system all attained widespread recognition. The New York Stock Exchange was founded in the early 1790s, while the London Stock Exchange was founded in the 1770s. Adam Smith, a Scottish social philosopher, who is frequently referred to as the founder of modern economics, first published The Wealth of Nations in 1776. He was in favor of a market-based, privately owned economic system. In conclusion, more concepts will be hosted by Consumer Trading Organization Limited in the future.